Without further ado, it's my great honor to introduce our first speaker, who really needs no introduction. We're lucky to have her. I'm looking forward to your year in leadership, and it's going to be a great one. President Suskauer.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I know it's a little early, and I certainly appreciate. I know I spoke with so many of you last night at dinner. For those of you I didn't see or didn't have a chance to talk to, I am here the entire day. So pull me aside, talk to me. I'm here for you. I am accessible. I love the fact I see so many familiar faces, both locally and around the state. I want to first congratulate all of you, because you didn't just walk into this room not having experience with the Florida Bar and putting in the time. You have been working within your sections for years and years and years, giving so much of your time, your effort, your love, your care away from your families and your practices, because you care about the bar, you care about the section, you care about the area of law if it's a specific area of law that you're working with. And so I appreciate that. I understand it, having been starting out as a voluntary bar leader back when I was a baby lawyer as a government lawyer, and then working with the Florida Bar for the past 8 or 9 years. So I understand that, and I appreciate it, and I know that your section, even though you are unsung heroes, and a lot of times you don't get those thank yous, and you're working late night, you're working early morning and all the time. So thank you all for being here. And this is such an amazing opportunity. I spoke to the Voluntary Bar Leaders Conference last week. Anybody here go to the Voluntary Bar Leaders Conference? We have a couple of people, and it really is an amazing opportunity for our voluntary bars. We have over 250 in Florida to get together, exchange ideas, learn, get resources. And again, there's so much similarity here. Take advantage of this time, and I know that so many of you will. Meeting with the staff, meeting with other sections, networking, getting ideas, and as we heard from Nick and others, and collaborating, which is so very important, because what we want to do is help all the sections, and we want the sections not only to help each other, help yourselves, but help each other. So really take advantage of this time. I want to give a shout out to my personal valet, President-elect, Jon Stewart, who is here. He is an incredible resource to all of you. Not only is he an incredible bar leader, former president of the Young Lawyers section, but really just one of the foremost experts in our state regarding technology. So use him. Call him. If you need him, you want to ask him questions, get him to speak. He is very happy to do that. I'm sorry, John, was that okay to volunteer you? I also want to give a shout out to our Young Lawyers Division President and President-elect, and you already met Santo and Christian. If you don't have a Young Lawyers Division of your section, you may want to consider doing that. You may want to consider talking to them. They are incredible and creative. They lead 26,000, am I right? 26,000 members of our bar. And if you have not tapped into the young lawyers, you need to do that. Their programming is incredible. The big bar steals it all the time. But speak to them. They're here, and they're here for you. So please work with them. I want to say a special hello to Hillary Creary, who, by the way, just joined the Board of Governors, but is showing up at absolutely everything. I appointed her to be liaison to the Public Interest Law section, and I truly appreciate you making the trip up from Fort Lauderdale, one of our newest 17th Circuit representatives. So Hillary, thank you so much. So I am not taking a half hour on your agenda. I know you're really disappointed about that. But I do want to talk about some of my priorities this year, and how if some of them resonate, or all of them resonate with you, if you could, if you want to collaborate. I am going to be talking later at 1 o'clock about liaisons. So I would be remiss if I didn't introduce the liaison to the Council of Sections, Renee Thompson. Renee, can you wave? That's Renee. Renee is an incredible resource. She's our Fifth Circuit representative. Renee is a past president of the Young Lawyers Division and an incredible leader. So please use Renee as a resource as well. But we'll be talking about liaisons later in the afternoon. So the priorities. I don't want to block this. Okay. Some of the priorities that I have, first of all, you may have heard about some of them. I am a small firm practitioner. Other than being a government lawyer as an assistant public defender for the first 3 years of my practice, I've been a small firm practitioner like so many of you. And as you heard, and I've shared, about 76% of us in the state, which means the majority of your section members are solos and small firms, and how do you tap into them? Given that I understand what it's like to run a practice, to keep the lights on, to deal with the stress and of administrative work, balancing family, increased competition, bar work, and everything else we have to do, I get it. It is difficult. So we need to be as empathetic as we can to our section members, to our membership in general, that they have very limited time and very limited resources. How do you tap into them? So one of my priorities this year is really to focus, obviously, I want to focus on all of our bar members. We have 106,000 or so, including out of state, but also specifically target and drill down to our solos and our small firms and providing resources. That doesn't mean that I'm showing extra special favoritism to the solo and small firm section, but I love them and I am a member, but I want to assist them and provide resources. And one of the ways that we're doing that is by a website. Are we live? Josh, are we live with legalfuel.com? Okay, is legalfuel.com, which is the practice resource center of the Florida Bar, where we're going to be providing, and we are providing, resources to our members. I'd love for you to go on that website to look at that. There's fresh content that's going to be added all the time that will help our members. When I traveled around the state when I was running for this position, and I met with so many, I met with many of you, met with practitioners all around the state in every practice area. So many of them said, we feel disconnected. We're the redheaded stepchild of the bar. Well, the entire bar is like redheaded stepchildren of the bar. So many felt disconnected. Well, we're in this room here in Tallahassee in the bar. We're in this room of the best and the brightest in our state. And we're in this bubble because we think, well, how could people not be engaged and involved in our bar? And yet so many of us aren't. Why? Where is the disconnect? That's what we have to focus on. Why is it that the majority of our bar members are not part of sections, are not part of committees, are not engaging? And so we're doing our best to try to bring the bar to them. So the legalfuel.com, we're working on and rolling out which I'm very excited about, a speaker series where it's going to be one free CLE. There'll be a lot of free CLEs, but one free CLE a month on topics that all of our members, and it's not meant to compete with your CLEs that you're offering, but this is something extra. Again, we're just trying to push out wonderful information to our members that they can use every day, not just solos and small firms, but everyone. So that's one of my priorities. Another is, given my background as a criminal defense attorney and working within the criminal justice system my entire career, I thought this would be an amazing opportunity to do something in terms of meaningful criminal justice reform. And we have the chair of the criminal law section, David. Welcome. Happy to see you here. And he knows about this initiative, and some of you have read about it, and you'll be hearing more about it. But what I thought when I was traveling around, I met with, pretty much every state attorney's office, public defender's office around the state, spoke with leaders, spoke with legislators. There is a need for meaningful criminal justice reform. How do you do that? It's easy to talk about it. So much was, I know that, and our lobbyists certainly can talk about that we were sort of poised to have some really great reform passed at the end of the last legislative session, which got derailed because of the tragedy in Parkland. But this is the time. How do you do it? Well, I've gotten together stakeholders from around the state on both sides of the aisle, folks from the right, folks from the left, people who haven't sat down in the same room, legislators, individuals from judges from the Circuit Judges Conference, County Judges Conference, criminal defense attorneys, public defenders, state attorneys, section leaders, all together in a steering committee so that we are going to be putting on a criminal justice summit the 2 days before the fall meeting in, I think it's the 15th and 16th, I believe, of October at the Tampa Airport Marriott. The number of folks are going to be limited. We are going to have 2 different tracks over 2 different days, and we're hoping that this summit is going to serve as a catalyst for change. So I'm very excited about that. The third issue that we're continuing from last year's, and last year President Michael Heiger, one of his main focuses was on health and wellness, and that was a special committee that we had for 1 year to really try to destigmatize mental health issues, and certainly it affects everyone across our state in every practice area and type. So we've now made that a permanent standing committee, and this is a permanent priority of the Florida Bar. And I know that some of the sections have taken up the mantle and have offered health and wellness initiatives, CLEs, etc. Continue to do that, and we're going to help provide that information so that you can push this out to your section membership. It's critical. Again, this is not an issue that's going away, and I'm sure that you've all heard about these numbers. The numbers are very disturbing, that we have higher numbers in our practice for depression, for suicide, alcoholism. Certainly there's tremendous dissatisfaction with the practice, and we can't ignore that. And certainly part of the reason, and I usually hold my cell phone because I am rarely away from it, is we are connected 24/7. Our practitioners are connected 24/7. There is no downtime. Never. And sometimes, depending on our practice, especially as a criminal defense lawyer, unfortunately, people don't get arrested 9 to 5. Well, some of them do, but a lot of them don't. Or somebody files a pleading, or a client wants to talk to you. So, you're not ignoring that text or that email. And so you get something at 10 o'clock at night, and if you don't answer it, you're aggravated. And if you answer it, you're aggravated. And then, we, again, don't take a break, no matter where we are. So I'm not saying that, cell phones are leading to dissatisfaction and mental health issues, but it certainly isn't helping. So we need to be aware of that. And finally, one other priority is, of course, everybody is familiar with the Me Too movement. The Florida Bar was way ahead of the curve in terms of studying gender bias and discrimination. We're continuing that, and the Diversity and Inclusion Committee is putting out ways that we're going to be able to implement major changes so that we don't continue to have this conversation about gender bias and sexual harassment. So you're going to be hearing, and there's going to be a rollout at the end of this year, the very beginning of next year, regarding blue ribbon designations for law firms, organizations who hire, promote, and retain female attorneys. Some of you have heard me say this before. I'm the 6th woman president of the Florida Bar. There needs to come a time when we stop counting how many women have been president of the Florida Bar, how many women have been chair of the trial lawyer section, which, by the way, is only 2. Okay, how many women have been chair of different sections? And so I am excited about that opportunity and this platform. And we could talk more about this, but Please be aware of when you do, by the way, put on CLEs, when people are trying to move up in the section. Be very cognizant and enthusiastic about promoting diverse attorneys who can move up in terms of leadership. Be enthusiastic and cognizant about utilizing folks in CLEs so that we don't have CLEs that are all just white men giving CLEs because our membership looks different. So please do that. That is a priority of the bar. What else did I want to tell you before I sit down? I want to just recognize also that we have incredible staff here. If you haven't met the folks that are dedicated members of the Florida Bar staff, talk to them. They are incredible resources and they're here for you. So I am going to sit down. I am excited about this year. I'm excited about working with all of you. I know that you have incredible things that are going to be happening this year. I have a crazy schedule, but I want to try to attend. If you contact me really, really soon, okay? And say, I really want you to come to this seminar, whether you want me to just say hi or be a speaker. The years, I'm already booking up, and it's not that it's me, it's just people it's the office. So if whatever you want, I need to know pretty quickly, and I would love to attend. I'm excited. I want to help promote. So thank you all so much, and I look forward to working with you this year. Thanks.